Oh man, guys, whip video here. Now, this isn't really going to be a video on, like, techniques and stuff. This is going to be things I'm working on. Whip stands for work in progress, so this is the whip video. I'm just going to be talking about stuff I'm working on, and I have kind of three things. One of them is just kind of a small doodle. I don't really know if I'm going to finish it or whatever. But anyway, I'm just going to kind of talk about my whole building process and what I do while I'm trying to create something. Now, first one is King Kong in the Trunk. And there's a rap song called King Kong by Jibs or something, Feet Chameleonaire. It's a really silly song, and one of the lyrics is, I got King Kong in the trunk. So I'm building a vignette based on that, and like a vignette's a small little scene. So I have King Kong here, got some bananas in the trunk, I have like a huge stack of Lego money in my room, along with some gold and stuff. It's just going to be a fun little vig. And the car actually took me about like 2 hours to make or something. Really I just incorporated a tire technique I found, and if you use, I think they're just a standard size Lego wheel, you can actually fit a motorcycle wheel over it, and it's a pretty snug connection. And when I was building this, I originally wanted to make the car purple, but as probably most of you know, there's not a lot of purple Lego bricks. So I tried to find like another color that I think would be like fitting, so I decided green because, you know, the color of money is green, and you know, rap usually has to do with money or something like that, so I decided green. And I had to make the car kind of like ridiculous and flamboyant. So it's got, you know, tail fins, it's got big old engine in the front, got pretty big grill and bumper, it's got big wheels, stuff like that. It's got some shiny bits. You know, I just tried to make it big and just kind of pop out a bit. And I still needed to make it minifig scale. And there's not really much else that went into designing. I just kind of gave it a basic body. This whole mid-section right here is really simple. So is the front section for the most part. Really the only complex section is kind of some of the snot in the back right there, and that's not even really too complex. Alright, but moving on, we have this figure I'm working on, and this one's kind of obscure. There's a game called Mischief Makers for the Nintendo 64. The main character is a robot named Marina. And one day I was just kind of experimenting with the concept of trying to make her have Legos, because I really like that game. And this is really what I came up with. It's really not much. You look up Mischief Makers N64 Marina or something on Google, see what the character looks like. But I don't know if I'm the first one to come up with this technique or not. But as you can see there, I'll move what will be the legs if I finish this, which I might not, because it might be kind of impossible at this scale. I use the Lego flag pieces here as kind of like, she has some kind of skirtish type thing, so I'm kind of using it as the skirt flap hanging down thing. I don't really know, just look up a picture. And you can actually kind of wedge it in one of these 4x4 round plates, which, yeah, I think that it makes, it looks good, I think. It looks like the character's actual, whatever she's wearing. Even though she's a robot and not really actually wearing anything, it's just kind of her whatever. Anyway, moving on to probably the coolest thing I'm working on. It's this. This is just a like stone building medieval time period thing. It's pretty awesome. You know, I think so. It has all these kind of stone details. First off, the chimney is just your kind of basic stacking 1 by 1 round studs up, and alternating colors, and occasionally including a square brick or whatever, or square plate. But this is a technique I've actually been messing with for a while now. I originally tried using it in a vignette back in my Vignette a Day project, but that vignette I scrapped. But I always had a table scrap of this kind of wall technique on my desk. It's just a bunch of jumper plates stacked and just like shifted every which way to kind of look like stone, and then I threw in like different shades of gray to make it look more organic. I think it looks really, really good, because it really gives that kind of stony rock feel. And then around it, I have a bunch of, like, mud, I guess. I tried to make the color change look really organic. I try to make, like, the structure organic, and by doing that, you have to kind of go random and include a lot of slopes, as well as just kind of little random tidbits, like these olive green slopes that are just kind of there for no reason. So I think they like add to the nature aspect of this creation, and a piece of grass just fell over, but it's no big problem. The jump in color, I think, is a little awkward. I don't know if I should keep it like that or maybe like order a bunch of dark green. Because, I mean, it starts out as a pretty dull sand brown color. Then it jumps to a slightly bright dark orange. Then it jumps to like a really bright green. I don't know if I like that jump that much. And colors are, I think, are a very important thing you have to worry about when building anything or drawing anything or whatever. But I think it looks natural, the progression. And I'm gonna turn this around. To the left over here, I want to include kind of like a farm, like a small little field where someone's raising crops. And also in the window, since like the inside, it's fairly small. I mean, there's a little fireplace there. But as you can see, the wall kind of juts out a bit, which means I can't actually put anything directly up against the wall, or else it would straighten out this stony surface, which is something I don't want because I want it to look stony, because it's kind of like a medieval building or whatever. So I'm not really going to be able to include any furnishings, or at least like up against the wall like they should be. I mean, I can do pretty close by just kind of slotting it in between the studs like that. So that'd get pretty close, but still not close enough. So I plan on putting in like a curtain, like just getting a cape, running a rod through the two holes and connecting it somehow, maybe via a clip somewhere in there, and hopefully just kind of fixing in the emptiness, as you can kind of see here. And I've run out of jumper plates, which are the things I'm using to make the walls. I ordered like 80 or so on my last Bricklink order, and it only got it up to that high. So I'm going to need to order a lot more, which, I mean, I knew I needed more, but I didn't want to make like a really, really big order. And then I guess I can actually talk about some of the techniques I employed. Or, I mean, this whole stone wall thing is a technique, but right here, to actually connect these like top brown parts to the door frame and the window frame, I used these hinge plates so that I could still maintain the 1x2 texture, because even if I wasn't going to use this like really awesome like stony look here by jumper plates and rotating them, I would still maintain a 1x2 plate thing stacked up, because that also kind of looks like stone or brick or whatever. And I did even maintain it here, because as you can see, it's just all rows of 1x2s. So to maintain that, I used the hinge bricks, because it creates an area that's greater than 1x2, so that I can actually connect the stacks, but it also maintains the little crack in between, which isn't really picking up on the camera. But there's actually a little crack that my nail's currently catching on right there, so that I can maintain the actual 1x2 nature of the wall. And I'm really looking forward to finishing this one. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do the roof, if I should do like straw or just wood or something. So I planned on keeping this one secret, but I think I'm going to upload a couple pictures to Flickr and get some help from actual castle builders, so that I kind of know what I'm doing, because I think once I get to the roof I'll be lost, and also finishing the chimney might be a bit hard. But I think it's looking pretty good so far. I really like the stony texture I've managed to achieve. And I think these other creations I'm working on are pretty promising. Well, maybe not the King Kong one. That one's just kind of a silly thing I did in my free time. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and whenever I'm working on something, maybe I'll try to make another with video. Just comment if you like it, and I'll try to make more with videos.